This is a recording of a webinar we hosted inside of the Synthflow community, and the whole premise of this webinar was to introduce people to integrating our HubSpot app inside of the HubSpot CRM. So you can now bring your AI voice assistant inside of your CRM and get it to call people. So we covered how to set it up, some simple workflows, and also answered any questions at the end. So hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions about setting it up, pop me an email at tom@synthflow.ai. Enjoy. Okay, we'll just give it 1 minute and then we'll just run through a couple of things. So today I wanted to just, we're going to cover the basic integration. We're going to cover a simple workflow, an idea about a form, so how you can submit a form and then set up a callback from a assistant in Synthflow. And then we will show you some of the outcome routes that you can do. Has anybody set up an automation or a workflow in HubSpot so far? Or has anybody used Zapier or Make or even native integration?
Yeah, I have set up a workflow with HubSpot for Synthflow.
Nice. Is it inside of HubSpot?
Yeah, inside of HubSpot. I found that Zapier doesn't do what we needed, so we had to find a way to work around HubSpot.
Got it. What were you trying to do exactly?
Yeah, I was trying to create tasks. So whenever we receive a call through a AI agent, we would have a task created on a hot queue bucket and assigned to determine team members. So yeah, we had to go through HubSpot with that.
Perfect. Sounds like you can help me out with this webinar then. It's ideal.
It's not that easy.
No, I'm joking. So I wanted to start off today with a bit of a story. So this week I moved into this office. As you can hear, it's pretty quite echoey, so it needs some soundproofing. So I'm out of my house office and into its own office. And to mark the occasion, I decided to buy a new camera, a DSLR, not this one. This is a backup webcam. And about a year ago, I bought a power supply off of Amazon. And what you can do with these cameras is you plug in the battery and you hook up the power supply. So you don't have to worry about recharging the battery. The camera kind of stays on. But little did I know, this was a faulty power supply. And 1.5 hour after setting up my camera, the camera was bricked because there was too much voltage or amps or whatever it was. So basically bricked the camera as soon as I turned it on. So that was my fun story for today. I am 1,000 euros down so far today, but we managed to get something back up and working in time for now. So hope your day is going better than mine. So without further ado, let's jump into some screen sharing. Oh, cool. So you're a platinum partner. That's nice. Let me share what should we do? Let's share the window. So we're going to start from inside the workflows tab. So if anybody, who else is familiar with workflows so far? Hands up, or let me just see if I can set up another screen so I don't get this infinite screen of doom. Nobody else use workflows? Anybody else use Zapier? So we're thinking pretty automation, pretty new on the automation side. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Hopefully that's a bit more easy to see. Is that good? Can everyone see and hear me okay? Anything in the chat, so confirm? Yeah, okay, cool. So when you're in HubSpot, the idea is combining Synthflow with HubSpot is you can use your Synthflow assistants inside of HubSpot to pull on all of your contact information inside of a workflow. So at the moment, if you're going into Synthflow, you can create a simple assistant that does a job. So let's bring up one just to have a quick recap. We're going to select this one. This is an inbound, very, very simple. It strips out a lot of this. A very inbound focused recruiter that's going to respond to an inbound phone call, an inbound form submission, and then give a call in return to confirm some information. So in this case, we have a recruitment form that collects first name, city, current employer, current salary, notice period, and then the things that the candidate is looking for, like desired job title, desired salary, etc. Now, standing on its own, you can either trigger it through just testing it here, you can deploy it through the simple contacts tab that we have in Synthflow by either creating a simple contact or importing some contacts and creating a campaign. And you can do it all inside Synthflow. But where HubSpot is good is you can bring your assistants inside of HubSpot and then connect them to a workflow. Now, how that works in reality, we'll just start from scratch, is you can create a workflow. You can create one which is contact-based or company-based or deal-based, depending on the type of phone call that you want to make. We're just going to go with contact-based. Let's name this webinar 2. And start with, you've got a trigger. If you've seen any of the tutorials that we publish, they're quite simple, but you can start with a trigger. And now this trigger can be anything. It could be when an event occurs, like a form submission we talked about. It could be when a filter criteria is met. For instance, a good example would this be, let's say a contact has not been spoken to or contacted in 30 days. Now, there's a thing that exists in businesses that run CRMs is that you have a bunch of contacts, but more often than not, there's a large percentage, of them, say 80, 90%, that haven't been contacted in a long time. Now, where Synthflow can come into play here is you could set up a nice workflow to maybe re-engage these contacts passively and update those details back into the CRM. And also let you or a team member know if there's something interesting that's been said on the call or you've got a lead. How that works in reality here is you would say, we're going to filter on properties. So we want to find the contact. It's going to be the contact properties. And then you have all this information available to you. We're going to look at a contact in a minute, but you can see we've got some of these. So a last contacted or last activity date. So say if you have somebody who looks at your website, somebody who fills in a form, somebody emails you, but maybe they haven't done so in a long time. You can say last activity date is more than 30 days ago. That's a really nice one. Let's say if you are, to use a recruitment example again, let's say if you have a bank of candidates that you want to see if they're in the market for work, but you're not sure if they're passive or active, you can set this filter to say, once somebody hasn't been spoken to, hasn't been contacted in 30 days, why don't we just drop them a call to see if they're available, see if they're still looking, see if they found something, and then we can have a chat, or you can book a call, or you can just update the CRM. Unitang, can you just mute your mic a second? I'm just getting a bit of crackling through into my headset. Perfect. Thanks. If anyone's got a question, just fire away or unmute yourself. Feel free or pop it in the chat. But I'll just keep on babbling over here. So that's one example. And let's just use that for now. Let's say we haven't spoken to somebody in 30 days and we might want to give them a call with that assistant I showed you. Now we can go and hit this plus button. We've got an integrated app here. Does anybody know how to install apps on HubSpot? Or should I cover that quick? I'll cover it quick. Let's get back here. To install Synthflow, you need to go to my 30-day check-in assistant. I'm just going to copy this whole prompt along with its custom variables and bring it inside of this thing here. Now, does anybody know why I'd want to do that? Apart from Sanshiro, because I'm pretty sure you do. So the reason why we're going to want to do that is because we could use all the data available to us inside of HubSpot in our prompt to make this really nice and personalized. For instance, we can see we've got our custom variables here. So in last contacted, we want to do last contacted. Now we say greet the candidate and say you just want to pop your call since the last time we spoke was on the, just think through like how it's going to sound when it's being read out by the assistant. So we want to say we haven't spoken to you in so long. This is the date we last spoke to you. So sounds pretty natural. And this item here, let's just save that. We can go back to see this item is going to come from your contacts that you have inside of HubSpot. Let's open up this one. Yeah, so we have, this is a good example without adding and messing around too much, but there is a last activity date or last contacted date to go along with this too. So we use this date. Bit of a personalized call saying, hey, we haven't spoken in so long. This is when we last spoke. This is just a quick check-in call to see how you're getting on, and then you can carry on with the objective of the call. Does that make sense as like a first custom variable? Hopefully it does. So we can go through all of these variables and we can manage our prompt inside of HubSpot rather than inside of Synthflow, but the workflow is still going to call that assistant. So let's just go through and do a couple more. The last contacted is kind of like an all-encompassing date. So let me just hover over here. So if you do this, okay, last contacted, here we go. The last time a call, chat conversation, LinkedIn message, postal mail, meeting, sales email, SMS, or WhatsApp message was logged for a contact. This is set automatically by HubSpot based on user actions in the contact record. Now, you could also use that as a filter parameter too inside of HubSpot. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to trigger a workflow off of a recent WhatsApp message, or that the contact has stopped interacting for the last 7 days, and you just want to pop them a courtesy call. So if somebody was messaging on WhatsApp and suddenly they stopped, you can drop them a call. You could also add like another filter to filter down even further to say, let me just see it. I've actually not done this before, but maybe we could do it as like a bit of a live test. Filter, and if Sansiro, if you've done this before with a complex filtering, let me know. Maybe we can go, I'm not sure if WhatsApp, opt in or out. I'll have to check that, but I'm sure we'd be able to filter it down even more just to get WhatsApp. But yeah, that's the basic premise. Last contacted in 30 days, pop somebody a call, or not contacted in 30 days, pop somebody a call. And then you can go through and map the rest of these things. So job title, and then remember each time you add one, take these away, current employer, and you can start to imagine what this whole thing looks like. We've got the compensation expectations, desired salary branch. We want to branch on the outcome of this previous action. So we press action. Now we have a few properties available to us. These come from the Synthflow app. We have the branch on the call status, the end call reason, or the action's final success or failure state. So if you're triggering custom actions, you can branch on the outcome of those too. But for this, we're going to just do the call status, because this means that we can do follow-up actions based off of how the phone call went. Was the user busy? Did the phone call get completed? Did the phone call fail? Did it hang up on voicemail? Did we leave a voicemail, or was there no answer? Because depending on what happened there, you're going to want to follow up with something else. If you may have used Go High Level, there's similar sort of flows that you can create in Go High Level, but this is the HubSpot way. If you press save, you can see that in HubSpot, it automatically adds these branches to you. Now, if you're new to automation, this may look a bit scary, but if you just go step by step and work through it, once you've done it once, you'll be good to go. So we've got the main one we're going to want to do today is completed. So let's say a phone call went well. So you make a phone call. And also one thing I like to do actually is throw a little delay in here. So in between the phone call and the branch, do a little bit of a delay to give it a chance for the phone call to be completed. We're going to delay type. We're going to delay on the amount of time. And I'm just going to give it 5 minutes to be safe. Make a phone call, delay for 5 minutes, and then branch the workflow based off of the action, which is going to be completed. Now, a really simple one you could do here is send an email. We can send an email to the person we just spoke to. We can send like an SMS. We can maybe drop a WhatsApp. You could add a task to their contact, or message, say, a team member saying they're looking for work. So for instance, we're just going to show the email. So completed, send an email. Oh, here you go. Here it is for the WhatsApp enjoyers among you. Communications, send a WhatsApp message. And if you have the WhatsApp number, a message template, and a language, you can just drop them a WhatsApp message as soon as that call's done. Or the other way would be, if the call was no answer, you could say, sorry to divulge away from the success one, but you could say, okay, there's no answer. We can send a WhatsApp message. Then we could do a little delay, and then we can pop them a call back. That's one way of doing it. On the completed, we're going to go email, and we're going to say send email to the contact. We're going to send to the enrolled contact. If you have an automated email set up, well, actually, scrap that. We need to set an automated email. You can create a new email, and then again, just populate the fields. We're going to go enter a name for your email, and let's say successful recruiting screening call from Tom, from me, Synthflow. The email subscription type is going to be a marketing email. Subject line is going to be great to chat. Now, this is quite like a simple automation, so apologies if it's a bit too simple for people who've done automation before. There's going to be a more complex HubSpot webinar in a couple of weeks. If you want to personalize this email too, you can say, hey, personalize with the contact. And in this case, it refers to as a token, but you can say name. Insert first name, and then carry on with the email. Great to chat. One of our team will be in touch. Add a footer, and then you can save that email. Now, that's like a simple automation. Is that why is it not saving? Anybody got an idea why it's not saving? Maybe I need to set it. Okay, we can leave that, but you can go across and do the same for these two. Majority of businesses is a lead follow-up assistant, and it doesn't have to do the whole qualification of the lead. It can simply be a check-in call to confirm that the details that have come through on the form are correct. So to do that in HubSpot is pretty simple. Head to forms. Again, if you're an agency, you can set your clients up with HubSpot and Synthflow, and then you can just do all of that connecting the two. And here, I've got a couple here to show. We could do the simple real estate form, which is next to that workflow. And this would be like, be it not styled exactly like this, but this would be like a simple form that some people will have on their website, or most real estate agents will have on their website. First name, last name, email, phone number, current property location, or property location if they're looking to sell, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, desired sale price, desired sale timeline. Now, bearing in mind what we did with that workflow before, there's a number of fields that you could filter in here. So, for instance, if you are a luxury real estate agent or broker, for instance, I know real estate is quite a simple example to use, but if the desired sale price was maybe under $200,000, probably a good assistant to set up would be just a courtesy call to say, thank you for filling in the form. Unfortunately, we don't think your property is going to be suitable for us as we're focused on the luxury market, but thank you very much for your interest. And that could just be a simple, like 30-second call. So the way you trigger a workflow from this would be to have the form trigger and then filter if the number in that field is greater or above a certain figure. So, Sancho, is there any way to ask something with the LIA and put that information on a HubSpot field? Ask if they have X budget or more. How do you mean? So on the call, you can ask them. So how would you see the workflow? Would you like a call back? Because you could do what you could do. You could set a prompt in Synthflow and pass the information to a lead field. So yeah, that's one thing we're working on too, is doing the data extraction from the conversation, then updating a field in HubSpot. That's going to be on the next release. But you can get one thing you could do actually is you could get the transcript of the phone call. That goes automatically back into HubSpot against the contact. And then you could use like a ChatGPT to pull out that data. But we're working on that right now. So we're just going to try and make that really simple for you. But one thing you could do with this is you could have your HubSpot form. You could have the desired sale price, for instance. Then you could trigger the human call transfer if the desired sale price is over a certain figure. So let's do this. Or you could use a team of assistants, if anyone's seen that, to say, lead comes in, if figure under 500,000, trigger a new assistant or a new assistant to say this is not suitable. Or if it's over 500,000, do a human transfer. So if you've seen a human transfer in Synthflow, it looks a bit like this. we get the transcript and turn it into a note. That's absolutely right. So let's say this 30-day check-in assistant. Let's use the recruitment example again. We want to say, has there been any changes into their current employment status since your conversation? One good response to this would be that a candidate is in late stage interviews with X number of companies. Now, if your assistant finds somebody like that, one thing that you could sell to recruitment companies is say, we can place phone calls through your CRM and update everybody's preferences. If, for instance, a candidate fits within a certain criteria, they could be a senior marketing executive or a CEO that's leaving their company or exploring new positions, then you can do two things. You could either forward to another assistant to do a more in-depth screening if you didn't want to do everything in one, or you could transfer to a human or book a call back with a consultant. So let's have a look at a couple of those actions. In here, you've got prompts and actions. We'll jump back into HubSpot in a minute and you can see how you can connect the two. But real-time booking, you can add a real-time booking. This is a cal.com booking. Actually, let's create someone new. Has anybody played with real-time bookings yet? Does anyone not? Does anyone know what they are? Let's do this one again. This is basically what your cal.com looks like. So would you like to show how the transcription is turned into a note? Let me see if I can show you one of that without scrolling too much. Actually, let me just finish off that. What do you want to do? Do you want to look at the recruitment analogy? Is there any examples that you want to run through? Or should we, how the record is saved in HubSpot? Yeah, let me just find a contact for you. Let's see. So here is a simple one. This is like a simple activity. We have a call made to the user with the transcript. This is obviously a short one. And we have the call type, the call outcome, and then the call direction. This is on a test account. So I think we've pushed an update in the last couple of days. This will be automatically updated for you. And then once you have a call, you can add a task. So if anyone's played with HubSpot, you probably want to assign a task to somebody. And to do that in workflows.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but we're working on inbound, so hopefully that'll be done soon. So yeah, if somebody rings, you've got a little flow, and I think part of the big thing that people were trying to solve, especially businesses, is how do you just keep your contacts engaged until it reaches an outcome? And you can do a combination of filters and branches. So a filter would be when a contact is maybe in an outreach stage of your deal pipeline. We can show you that in a sec. Or is just manually added to a list. So if you've got a lead list that you'd like to call with an assistant, you can add them or manually enroll them or upload them. Do this and set your branch underway or workflow underway. So this is left voicemail, delay for 5 hours, make an AI phone call. And again, you can do a branch and keep branching. As you go down, this is probably getting a bit more technical, but you can add another branch until you get to a completed outcome. So you can chain calls together, maybe 1, 2, 3. You could chain a phone call with an email, with a WhatsApp, with an SMS, with maybe a different type of assistant, depending on your outcome. And that's how you do that. Is there anything else you want to show in workflows that we currently don't know how to do? Or does that kind of basic premise make sense? There's one other branch I wanted to show you, which is based off of the completed branch. So if anybody's got any questions, fire away. So the last branch is basically, if your phone call is completed, there's also, if you spent time in Synthflow, there's a number of ways that your phone call gets completed. And I'm going to show you that right now. We have our action outputs again. So let me just go back to show you how that's done again. Plus, branch, select property to branch on, down to action outputs. And then we have the end call reason. Now, this is important because you want to try and figure out, sorry, not end call reason, that was the first one. Bear with, my brain is fried today. We're going to branch on. What was I right the first time? Sorry, folks, I'm taking myself around in circles here. End call reason or call status? End call reason. Yes, this is it. Sorry about that. That was ridiculous of me. There's another branch that you might want to include if you want to get more granular, or if you're selling a more complex solution to a business and you want to kind of find out which route your call's gone down. So let's say the call is completed and the agent said goodbye and the human said goodbye, or the human pickup cut off, it hit max duration. So maybe, for instance, if the call hits your max duration of say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you want to know about it, you can send yourself an email or ping a member of the team to say, please check let's do it on undefined. Let's say the call was completed. We presume that call is successful. We got all the information we wanted, but maybe there's been an error and we're getting an undefined here. So one thing you can do in HubSpot, this is why it's really good to keep all your stuff in one place, create a task and it says undefined call completion. Now, the type is going to be a to-do. We can set it for immediately. We can say, please, this is how you do a note, by the way. I've just realized the type, email, call to do. Please check on this undefined call result. Then you can add it to a shared task queue with your team, or you can assign a task directly to a developer. So if you're running an agency and you have somebody who's building your voice assistants for you, or you want to know personally as an agency owner when your calls are failing, maybe for a certain client, you could say, okay, specific user, I'm going to assign Pablo, one of our developers, to come and look at this. You can press save. And now every time a phone call comes through, it gets completed, but the outcome is undefined. So agent goodbye means the agent's kind of got through of its goal and said goodbye to the person, which is good. Same with human goodbye. Human pickup cutoff is maybe a delay callback scenario, or maybe a send an email to say, we got cut off there. Would you like to book a time to have a call back with maybe a cal.com link? That might be quite useful. Max duration might be a similar scenario. Say, okay, create another task for an engineer to look at. Look, we had a conversation. It hit the max duration. Could you check if it was a legitimately long call or was there an error? And if it's an error, fix. So this is a good thing about combining a voice agent with a CRM, because you have all the people who work for you, all your contacts, all your companies, all of the logs, etc. And you can create and set tasks. So that is some of the more simple things. Is there anything you want me to cover? We've got maybe 12 minutes left, so I can freestyle it a little bit more to show any particular use cases. If anyone wants to unmute or turn your camera on or ask in the chat, far away. We can take a peek in anything else.
Who do you think that the best use case for this is? Is it just more like real estate? If we were to develop an agency to use this, who do you recommend to go after?
I would go. So my general thought is 99.9% of people don't even know this is possible yet. And there's going to be a small amount of us, probably the people on this call too, who like mine's going off in 1,000 different directions of all the things you could build. But I reckon any phone call that is a pain in the ass to make for people, or is like a big quality of life upgrade. So maybe for recruitment, it would be an interview reminder for a candidate. So let me see if I've actually made one. So if a interview date is tomorrow, pop them a call just to remind them that they've got an interview tomorrow, and this is the time, the location, and the date. Real estate, like lead, I think lead following up would be really good to call a lead instantly and then try and book them for a live cal.com event. So if I show you an assistant, we have this prompt here, which would say, it could say, thank you for your time today. We just confirmed their employment details and we're going to try and book them into a call with a consultant. Because If it's a candidate that's interesting, we want to book a call straight back, and then they're a hot candidate, and then they can get an instant call. I think things like salons for bookings, like beauty or house viewings, anything.
Those integration with Twilio and Synthflow, I can make that. So can you explain a little?
So have you managed to connect your Twilio to Synthflow at all yet, or not?
Can you repeat this?
So have you completed this, the SSID and the auth token?
I create an Twilio account,
Mhm.
and I get those SSID and out token to upload to Synthflow.
Okay.
Yeah, because the numbers that HubSpot already has, I don't found those SSID and out tokens number.
Okay. Maybe we should catch up. Drop me a message in Circle, and we'll jump on a call and we'll try and fix that together. Nice. James, one of the probably leading selling points for Synthflow is white label. So I've got an agency account here I can show you. You can basically white label the whole platform and resell it as your own. So this is what you'll see as an agency, and you can mark up the price, you can mark up the minutes and the usage, and also the monthly cost for using Assistant. So with General, you can upload your logo, give it a name, create sub accounts. There's a longer tutorial on YouTube about this, but to create a sub account, you can just do this webinar spelt wrong. You can assign members. So let's say if it's a client, you can add them to this account. And the good thing about doing sub accounts is you can give them permissions like pretty granularly. So if you don't want them to be able to change their assistants, you can do that. You can take away the prompt. You can maybe let them deploy it via REST API only. So you control the deployment and then see, you can do it self-serve. You can just hop on, upgrade. I think you can actually get a free trial of the agency account too. And then you can change the permissions. So you can say, this is the amount of free minutes you've got. You maybe want them to have, say, 2 assistants only, and it's going to be inbound or outbound. No assistant teams. You can sell it as an upsell. Give them actions. Give them the dashboard so they can see their statistics. Let them buy phone numbers, or if you don't want to, you could buy phone numbers and assign them to their account. Products. This is where you can assign things to your clients. So let's say you built the assistant for them. You could then assign it. Say Drew, the inbound confirmation call or the 30-day check-in assistant. We can say, okay, we're going to give these 2 assistants to this white label client. And we're going to give them a pre-built workflow. And we're going to assign 1 US-based phone number that we have on our account, and then some custom actions that we bought. Pricing-wise, hopefully that makes sense so far. Pricing-wise, you can create custom pricing plans. These will be automatically mapped to your Stripe account. So let's say recruitment. You can say we're going to give you 200 minutes to start with. You can see this is changing on the right-hand side. You're going to give you 200 minutes. The price plan is going to be $199 a month. And after the 200 minutes, we're going to charge you $1 a minute after it. So if they sign up, you assign this to them. They can use the assistant, and then you can manage the charge. Okay, let's give them these assistants. By the way, this is assigning assistants to this pricing plan, not the client. Okay, you can click through, press finish. So your cost per minute on the agency plan, I think you get 6,000 minutes for free. And then it is, off the top of my head, 15 cents a minute. Don't hold me to that, bear with. And also we might be changing our pricing shortly, so... Okay, okay, cool. 50 concurrent calls, 20 workspaces, 80 assistants, 80 sub accounts, rebilling, and 13 cents a minute after 6,000 minutes. So with your 1,400 a month, you get 6,000 minutes free, and then, or not for free, included, and then 13 cents a minute. So if you wanted to rip through it and get set up, and if you've got a client that might be good for that you can bill out, you can start a free trial and see how you go. Any other wider Synthflow related questions that we want to know about? Hit me. A partner plan, as in unique pricing for partners. We do have a referral program. I think the referral program for is 30% recurring for a period of time. 2 secs. Yeah, for Go High Level, we've actually got if you look in the events section of Circle, there is a recording of that webinar with one of the guys who does a great one. But yeah, referral campaign is, let's see, 20% recurring on all paid referrals. Any other questions? What do we need to do? What other tutorials does everybody need? What other webinars do we need? Do you want to see interviews? Do you want to see workflow stuff, more basic stuff? Could I build anybody an assistant which they'd like to try and use to see if it's possible? Yes, it is. So I think on our Voice 2.0, we've just released our new orchestration engine, Voice Engine 2.0, with a bunch of updates, including some better voices. And in 2.0, I think maybe even one developer to make the app better. So we should have that fairly soon. It is one of our priorities. Info extraction to update HubSpot is top alongside the calendar stuff. Being able to set up the webhook of Twilio and Synthflow for inbound calls, because I always get a configure URL voice. I'm not sure when, but send me a DM and we'll book a time that we can go through your Twilio stuff. Cool. Well, if anybody needs anything else, just drop me a message into Circle. Apologies if that was slightly all over the place today. It's going to get better with time. So happy to jump on any calls or help anyone build any assistance they might want to do. So just drop me a note and hopefully we'll see you again. Sansiro, drop me a message in Circle too, and we'll get that fixed. Just tom@synthflow.ai is the one if anyone wants to get me. If not, you can just ping me in Circle, send me a DM. All right. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you taking the time, and catch you on the next one.